Hi folks, I'm Ian Baker, and today I want to talk about buying a used RV. Buying used can be a big savings if you know what to look for and what to avoid. Some problems are easy, inexpensive fixes, but others may be a good sign to walk away. Let's start with probably the largest fear when shopping for a used RV: water damage. Start your inspection process on the outside. You'll want to look at the sealant on the windows and especially on the roof to ensure it appears to be in good condition. If the exterior of the RV is laminated fiberglass, you can also look for delamination. This will appear as large bubbles under the fiberglass and is generally indicative of water damage within the wall. Once your exterior inspection is done, you can head inside and examine the corners of the RV and the floor. If you see brown or black staining in the carpet along the wall, there's a good chance water was coming in the RV at some point. Also, look at the wall underneath windows. If the wall has long ripples, this too is often signs of water damage. If you find water damage in the RV you're looking at, I personally recommend just walking away. It's hard to determine how long the leak has been in existence and how much damage has been done until you peel back the wall. This can be a very expensive fix. Let's talk about motorhomes for a little bit. One of the major components in a motorhome is, of course, the engine and chassis. What I think surprises many new RVers is that most dealers aren't able to perform service work on motorhomes. So whether you're looking at a motor coach from a private seller or a dealership, I highly recommend taking it to an authorized maintenance shop to have it looked at. The facility you take it to will usually depend on the chassis of the motorhome. If you don't know where to go and you're shopping at a dealership, I just ask them who they use for that specific chassis. Even if the salesperson doesn't know, the service manager certainly should. And if the service manager doesn't know, well then you should probably go to a different dealership. Next up on the list is one that is often overlooked, and that is the generator. If the RV you're looking at has a generator, do yourself a favor and make sure it starts. The generator is one of the biggest problems with an RV because of its intermittent use. Low hours on a generator aren't necessarily any better than high hours. What happens is the generator gets used a few times a year and the carburetor never gets cleaned out. It gets gummed up, and the next time you go to use the generator, it doesn't start. If the generator in the used RV you're looking at won't start, I'd recommend having the dealership clean it to ensure it starts before you drive off, as a new generator is also fairly expensive. Speaking of expensive, a very strong odor in the refrigerator is another big problem. If someone accidentally let fish thaw out in the freezer compartment and sit there for a day, that smell probably isn't coming out. I find that most RVers are surprised to find out the refrigerator is often the most expensive thing to replace in your RV. So unless you're willing to throw down a few grand to replace the smelly refrigerator, I'd probably walk away from an RV with a very bad odor. Now, don't get me wrong, most RV fridges don't smell great because they're sitting so long, and these minor smells can be extinguished. But if the odor is there to stay, it's time to walk away. With the major expenses out of the way, let's move on to a few of the more minor things you'll want to keep an eye out for. First up is the tires. You'll want to check the date code on the tires, and it's recommended to change your tires every 5 years. You'll also want to make sure the tires don't have dry rot. On a tag axle Class A, replacing the tires can be a fairly sizable expense. I also recommend looking at awnings, especially where it attaches to the RV, to ensure there aren't any pinholes or tears. When it comes to buying used, sometimes there are great deals from private sellers. However, buying from a dealership also has some excellent perks. First off, most dealers will perform a propane safety check to make sure the RV doesn't have a propane leak, as that could be very dangerous. Also, oftentimes you can get a limited warranty, which can give you some peace of mind when driving off the lot. And that wraps it up, folks. Hopefully this video gave you a little insight as to things to look out for and avoid when purchasing a used RV. Thanks again for watching. I'm Ian Baker, and let's go camping.